Hi guys, Happy New Year. Welcome to Goal Setting 2024, episode 1 of a brand new spanking year. Hope you're all good. I don't even think I said, but welcome to the Mission Empowered podcast. We are back, baby. So I took a little break over Christmas. Hopefully you did too. And I'm not sure whether you can sense this, whether you're listening, whether you're watching. I'm so nervous. Very nervous. So bear with me, guys. The reason I am nervous, if you are a avid Mission Empowered podcast listener, you will know on Black Friday, I invested in a really expensive camera to level up the podcast, to level up my content on Instagram and social media. And I bought it and I was excited. I watched a 2-hour long video of how to use it and then put it in a box and left it on the shelf. And I was like, I can't do this. So it is 7:30 a.m. on the 3rd of January, and I was like, no, today is the day that you are getting your shit together and you are going to use this camera. So I know you can't see the setup right now, but I have got my mic. I've got my posh camera on a tripod. I've got a ring light because it's still pitch black outside. And hopefully, yeah, it's probably not even going to make a blind bit of difference, but it will to me because I'm pushing myself outside the comfort zone and I'm doing it. And I know that after I've recorded this morning, I'll be like, oh, thank God that's over. But yeah, welcome back to the podcast, guys. Let's go. So, first episode of 2023. It's 2024. That is not a good start. Right. First episode of 2024. It's got to be about goal setting because I think right now you're probably going to see a lot of people talking about goal setting, and even for me, full honesty, it's overwhelming. I feel like, I don't even know where to start with goal setting. I've probably done goal setting the last 3 years, and every single year I try and do it a little bit better, a little bit more in detail. But what I'm going to do with you today is how to set your goals really simply for the year ahead, because that's what we need. It's always best to start simple rather than overcomplicate it. And for me as well, like January is a great time to set goals. I think it's when people are the most motivated. I'm a big fan of the new year, new me, done the right way. I don't like people who slander it. I don't like people who are like, oh, I roll. I think no, if you're coming into January with that motivation, like use it, roll with it. But the thing is, a lot of people don't know how to roll with it. They're like, okay, new year, new me. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat well. I'm going to stop eating this. I'm going to do this. And that can be overwhelming. And that's what tends to last about 2-3 weeks. And then we give up. So by the end of this podcast, you are going to know how to set your goals, how to go away, take 10 minutes. That is all it will take of your time. Take 10 minutes to go and set some goals for the year. Okay. I also want to say about this pod as well, please listen to this, because I think as well, January can be an overwhelming time of year. We're coming off the back of Christmas where we've had lots of downtime, hopefully. And we've probably spent, had time off work, been eating nice lovely food, done nice things with friends. And then January, we don't really have a lot on. Like, it can be a bit boring, it can be a bit flat, it can be a bit depressing. So I want to say, like, this pod isn't just for January, this episode. Like, you can come back and listen to this when you feel ready to as well. But I do think if you're in the mindset where January is, you are feeling motivated, amazing. Hopefully this episode is going to really help you out. So 5 steps to setting up your January goals. Now, the point that I'm going to make first is so powerful, that even by writing your goals down, you are 43% more likely to achieve them. You are basically halfway to achieving your goals just by writing them down. Like, how insane is that? And this is why I always set goals in January, because I know for me that works. And we'll talk a little bit about that step in a second. But listen, girls, like, just write them down. Even if it's pen to paper, you can do it snazzy on the computer, you can do whatever you want. But even if it's just in a little notebook, pen to paper, 3 goals, bosh, done, you're 43% then more likely to achieve it. But I'm going to help you break it down even more than that. So let's go. First thing we want to do is set a timer. And you can use this pod as, I keep saying pod, is that a new word I'm going to use? Who knows? But you can use this episode as like a real time set and do it. So if you are using that, this is what I want you to do. Get a pen and paper. You're going to set a 5-minute timer. Okay. So pen and paper, 5-minute timer on your phone, and just write. If everything that you wanted to achieve this year was possible, what would that look like? So just sit with your pen and paper and just write, even if it seems silly, even if it's like win the lottery, even, it can be anything. So for some examples, what people tend to write in January is like they see this big 12 months ahead of them and they're like, right, I want a new job, I want a new partner, maybe I want to change a career, I want to have a baby, I want to move house, whatever it is you want, just write it down and just keep writing. Okay, after that even if you get to 3 minutes and you're like, I can't think of anything else, just keep writing, because the thing is, when we do pen to paper, we get better at the more we do. And that's why I say don't stop writing for the 5 minutes, because that first 1 to 2 minutes, it might be, I want more money, I want to be fitter, but then as you keep writing, maybe minutes 3, 4, and 5, your creative juices will get going, and you might then start to come out with some more specific goals or some more subconscious goals that you think, actually, yeah. So for me, I started thinking about my goals like the 1st of Jan. A lot of people do goal setting in December. That doesn't really work well for me. I'm more in like switch off party mood. So for me, I always like to do my goal setting the first week of January. And this is what I was saying, is like, don't feel overwhelmed if you haven't set your goals yet. This is why I'm putting the podcast out on the 3rd of January, because you've got, use this first week to get back into routine, decompress after Christmas, set some goals, get yourself in prep and order, and then go next week. Okay. So where was that? 5 minute timer. Okay. Now, after you've done that, you might want to do it again. I know you're probably thinking, what, and that was a lot of writing, but we can set goals. So we can write for 5 minutes, and then what we can do is we can sort of separate them goals into compartments. Okay. So you might have personal goals for you. So that might be consistent in the gym, achieve the body of my dreams, run a 10K, and then you might have business goals. I want to start a side hustle. I want my business to do better. I want to take on staff, something like that. And then you might have, what else have I got here? I've got my notes in front of me. Relationship goals. Okay, so this is one that me and Ollie did last year. We said every first Friday of the month is going to be date night. And we tried to stick to that as much as we can. But what that helped us do is, even if there was a first Friday of the month we couldn't get a date night in, we knew it was important, we knew it was great, so we were able to shuffle it. So it helped create this really good habit. So you might have relationship goals like that, okay? So if you want to pause this episode, or if you want to make a note of it, make a note. But step one is set that 5 minute timer and write. Just let it go. Make sure there's, try have no distractions, pen to paper, put some music in if you want, and just write. And then if you want to do it again and separate them, that's fine. When it comes to setting your goals, if this is your first time doing it, I would probably say set 5 goals overall, or if you want to separate them into sections, maybe just 2 goals in each section. And you don't have to do all these sections. You might have 2 or 3 business goals, 2 or 3 personal goals, or you might have 1 business goal, 1 personal goal, 1 relationship goal. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So I wouldn't overwhelm yourself. In terms of, just to help you out on that then, before we go on to step 2. Oh, where is my book? Oh, it's over there. So I actually did a sort of higher level, no, more in-depth business more in-depth goal setting session yesterday. It was an hour long. It was like a follow along, and that was really specific, and it made me think. I just said earlier in the episode that every year I try and take my goal setting a little bit further and do a little bit more. So last year, I don't know if you can see it behind me. I don't know if you can see that on the floor, not the Lasso Apps calendar. But what you can see behind me is I've got my whiteboards and my frames, because I've written out all my goals, but I just need to print all mine and put them in my outline, which we'll talk about in a minute. But last year I just sort of wrote my goals out, business and personal, 10 in each one. Okay. This year I did a workshop to make sure I can get clearer on it. So I think what I want to say is keep it simple to start with, and then you can move on and make them more in detail every year. Okay. Goal setting in itself comes back to that basic of if you're just writing them down, you're still 43% more likely to achieve them. Start there. Okay, so once you've got your goals, step 2 is going to be reverse engineer these goals. So, for example, let's use a fat loss goal. If your fat loss goal is I want to lose 6 stone, okay. Now I'm saying this because actually I had to chat with someone the other day who said I'm going on a big family holiday in August. I want to lose 6 stone. Now I voice notes to the back. That was nice of me. But I voice notes to the back and just said, look, when we're setting these extreme goals, it's really important to look at what that expectation is. Okay, so for example, if you haven't ever run in your life and you want to run a marathon in July, is that going to be doable? Is that expectation? Because you need to then reverse engineer, well, what does my training plan look like? What does, the time that I need to put into it look like? And it could be that goal you set might not be a goal for in 6 months. It might be that might be a 2-year goal, and that's fine. You can still then set your expectation of, well, what is a little bit more achievable? So, for example, taking it back to the lady that wants to lose 6 stone by August, I went back to her and I said, look, that is looking at about £3 to £4 a week, every single week, with no misses. One, that is an extreme amount of weight to continuously lose. Okay. And two, is that putting extreme pressure on yourself that if you set that target and you don't achieve that, how are you going to feel in August? And maybe it might be better to say, I want to lose 6 stone in the next 12 to 18 months, but by August, I want to have lost 3 stone. Okay, so that's more doable. And that is setting that more achievable goal. So you can then reverse engineer that to lose an X amount of weight each week, also taking into account weeks that the scales might stand still, or you have a holiday or whatever. Okay, so step 2 is to reverse engineer your goal. So whatever goal you have written down in that timer, in that compartment, what does that look like? Like, I'll just again use me and alls, like about the relationship thing, about the date night, is that reverse engineering that would be, okay, we're going to date night the first Friday of every month, is then putting that in the calendar and then maybe saying, actually, that week we're away, or that week I've got a business trip on or something. How can we maneuver that? And just having that little plan. So the thing is with goals and dreams and achievements is they are amazing to have that idea, but they do not happen without a plan, which is why step 2 is so important, is writing them goals down and then reverse engineering. The goal is the end line. How am I going to get there? Okay, so for example, if you would like to achieve, this is a couple of my clients' goals, I want to do a pull-up or a set of pull-ups by the end of the year. Well, we know, great, we need to start activating your lats, getting you practicing pull-ups each week. We need to put this plan in action so that by the end of the year, we have got the plan that is going to get you doing some pull-ups. Okay, it's not just a case of I want to do a set of pull-ups by the end of the year and then not actioning it or not having a plan to see that through. So step 2 is to reverse engineer it. Okay, step 3 really relates into step 2. So if step 1 is writing it down, step 2 is reverse engineer how we're going to do it. Step 3, what do you need to achieve it? So the things I've written down here is, do you need a coach? Do you need to go on a course? Do you need to sign up to a race? Do you need to get a budget planner? So for example, if one of your goals this year is I want to go on an all-inclusive holiday to Mexico in December, but I'm a bit skint right now. Yeah. But listen, that's doable. But maybe you need to set up a spreadsheet where you're going to budget your money for the rest of the year to see how much you need to save. That's it. 43% more likely going to be heading off to Mexico in December because you've budgeted your money, you know it's achievable, you know it's doable. And again, just taking it back to what I was saying about being achievable, if you find holidays are expensive right now, but if you find a holiday, let's say it's £3,000, okay, but you know that you've set your intention of reverse engineering of, oh, I can save £200 a month. So that means I've got 2 grand. Okay, so maybe the all-inclusive Mexico holiday either goes to next year, or we budget a little bit better, or we say, well, actually, I found this other holiday that's a little bit cheaper. It's a different location. I can go there. Okay, so we're balancing expectations. We're getting that goal in play. We're reverse engineering And honestly, it is the most empowering feeling to do that. And yesterday, before I started my goal setting workshop that I did, I was feeling really overwhelmed. I was like, oh, I don't know what my goals are. And, or I've got too many goals. How am I going to do it? But just taking time to sit down, write it out, get the plan. It makes you feel so much better. It makes you feel so much more motivated. And you're not just relying on, I want to achieve this goal. Like, you literally have the plan to do that. Okay. So if right now you're listening, feeling a little bit overwhelmed, like, follow these steps and you'll be absolutely fine. Take some time out of your day, you'll be fine to do it. And after that, you will feel really motivated to carry on doing it. So where are we? Set a timer, reverse engineer it, write out what you need. Okay, so I think as well, listen to this, you will know I'm a coach. It's what I do. I help people achieve their health and fitness goals, physique goals. And from someone, if you've listened to all the other podcast episodes, who has done all the fad diets, who has gone into January, signed up for the gym, I'm gonna, got this diet off the internet, I'm gonna follow it, I'm gonna put these calories in. I think and this isn't a plug, it's just a full honesty, the biggest thing that I always wish I'd done was invested in a coach years ago. Because when you are motivated and you pair that with expertise, that is the perfect plan. The problem I see so much this time of year when it comes to health, fitness, fat loss is that people are motivated, which is amazing, but they are signed up, or they are trying to do a plan with no accountability, or they're trying to do a plan that's unsustainable or not very healthy. And what happens is they don't get the results that they're motivated to get because the plan is wrong. And then the motivation drops, and then they go into February, and it just is another year of that cycle. Whereas if you are super motivated and you can action it, and that isn't just getting a coach, say you're super motivated to learn a new skill, learn a new hobby, start dating again. Like, if you're super motivated to do that and don't pair that with like the best steps to take you forwards, that's setting yourself up for failure. Which is, I know it sounds horrible because you're super motivated, but it's so true, is that when you are super motivated is the best time to invest into someone who knows how to take that motivation and make it work. Like I said, whether that is, I said dating then, can you get like a dating coach? I bet you can. That would be a sick job. But invest in a dating coach, or invest in a health and fitness coach, or sign up to a course. It's the best time to do it when you're super motivated. And for me as well, like, one of my goals is I want to start doing a hobby that is outside of health and fitness. I haven't quite decided what it is. I need to take time to look and do that. But that is like one of my goals for this year. And also something I took from the course yesterday, which is a little bit ahead of what I'm talking about with you guys, but I'm going to let you know anyway. It's okay to set your goals for later on in the year. So, for example, I wish I had my thing here with me. Let me just see. I've got my goals written down. Okay, one of my goals for this year is to move house, and I'm putting out there to the universe, but not to move house in February or March. I'm really busy with work. I've got a lot of stuff on, but maybe towards the end of this year, I'd like to move house. But because I've then put that out there and then looked at that and reverse engineered that, I knew that trying to move house in February, March isn't it's not going to be possible. That's not at the front of my goal list. Yeah. So I've reverse engineered of what can I do from now until I want to move house. Well, I can speak to a mortgage advisor. I can start researching where I want to live. What I can get my house ready to go up for sale. So when you have that goal, it's okay that if you don't want to do it straight away, it doesn't have to be implemented in January, but it's having that plan and reverse engineering that plan to know that goal is in for later on in the year, and what can you do now to prep for it. That was a really big tip that I got from yesterday. Okay, so number 3, write out what you need. We've covered that one. Okay, so number 4. So we've written our goals down in that step 1. We did that free writing, okay, and we wrote it down. Then we might have compartmented them into different sections, or we might just have 3 goals for the year. Number 4 is writing them down so that you can see them. So on my desk, how I do my goals, and as I said, so I've written my goals down. They're all in a little compartment, but it was all freehand. I'm now going to put them onto the computer. I'm going to print them out and I will put them into, see these frames down here? I will put them into one of them frames and it will go on my desk or on my windowsill in my office. So every single day I am reconfirming them. There's no point, and I'm going to say this, writing your goals down and putting it in your bedside table to only then see it in December when you do need December clear out and go, oh, they were my goals for this year. Yeah, I forgot about them. Okay. Remember, if it's in our eye line and we're seeing it every day and we're visualizing it every day, that is a big piece of the puzzle for you achieving that goal. So when you are, step 4 is to write your goals down, print them out. Well, you don't have to print them out. You can just put them visual. So if you are literally writing it in pen and paper, get that pen and paper, get that piece of paper and stick it on your fridge, in your bedroom, in your home office, on your computer. Just put it somewhere. You are going to see it every day. So you are going to be reminded of that goal every single day. And I promise you, seeing it every day is a huge piece of the puzzle for your subconscious to take that in. And then subconsciously, your actions will remember. Your mindset will remember this is a goal that will hopefully then come out in your actions. But I promise you, this is step 4 is such an easy but powerful step to do. Get your goals in your eye line every single day. Okay, so step 5. Hopefully, we're all still with this, and this has been quite easy to follow along to. This is the big one. So, step 5 is reflect. And I'll be honest, step 5 is the hardest one for me. Maybe not for you, but for me. And it's something that I got a bit shit at last year. Full honesty. Now, I achieved a lot of my goals last year. Do you know what? I should have get them. Wait there. Let's have a little look where they are. Here they are. My goals. Right. So, and listen, not every goal you have to do, by the way. Like it's there for the subconscious. You can move it in. So I'm just gonna be like transparent about that. I didn't achieve all my goals last year, but I achieved a lot of them. So my goals last year, number 1 was I live a healthy and happy life. Now, you might think that is a bit of a, I want to say bum fluff. That's not the word I was thinking of. You might think that's a bit of a fluffy one, but because I wrote this goal down and I looked at it every single day, I was training my subconscious every day that I live a happy and healthy life. And did I live a happy and healthy life last year? Absolutely. And that was my number 1 goal and still will be this year as well. Health and happiness to me is absolutely everything. My second goal was I had the most amazing honeymoon with Ollie. We went to Bali last year and yes, it was fucking awesome. It was a trip of a lifetime, but that was my other goal. I traveled somewhere new every month in 2023. That was achieved. So because I had that in my eye line, I would get like, if I was just like, you know, because I would look at them obviously subconsciously every day, I would be like, oh, where are we going this month? Now that wasn't abroad. Literally, some of them were different places in Wales. But I remember, when was it? Was it like October or September? I was like, oh, I haven't got anything in. And so we had a little scoocheroo and we booked and we went to Bakewell. So that was lovely. But yeah, because that was on my goal and because I got the reminders of that, that was like what I was aiming for. Okay, so here we go, guys. Is one that wasn't, well, sort of was, but wasn't specific enough. So we are looking for our new house. That was one of my goals for 2023. Now, I realise now that wasn't specific enough. We are looking for our new house. Well, yeah, we looked at houses all last year, but it didn't move the needle forwards. So that's why this year my goal is I have moved house. I'm being more specific. I'm going to put that plan of action in to move it forwards. Other things then, I have run a 10K race. That was my goal in January, which, by the way, I was definitely not running in. I think it was July. I ran a 10K race and I PB'd it with my client. So that was a huge achievement for me. I've completed a CrossFit competition. So this was a bit of a funny one. I signed up to 2 CrossFit competitions last year. Both of them fell through for one reason or another. One got cancelled and one was a team event that we couldn't get a team together or we lost a team member. So in November last year, my CrossFit had a in-house competition. So it wasn't the competition that I was idolizing, but they had an in-house one. And I was like, I think, yeah, I had my best friend's birthday on the same day. So I originally knew I can't do that. Like, it's my best friend's birthday, but I was like, no, my goal is I've completed the CrossFit competition. I need to do that. So I made it work. I went to the competition, come home, quick turnaround, went out for my friend's birthday, and I made it happen. But that good pressure, that good stress is what pushed me to do that, because otherwise, if I didn't have that written down, I would have been like, oh, I can't do that. It's my best friend's birthday, So having these goals written down is so powerful. And the other ones were travel. So I went to Bali, Portugal, Isle of Scilly, and Iceland. We didn't make it to Iceland. Do you know what? Out of all them things that I didn't achieve, that's okay. So yeah. And then I had some business goals, but I won't bore you with them. But you can see my point is my goals, my business goals in a frame on my desk. That is the point I'm trying to get across. Anyway, what I didn't do last year, which is step 5, is reflection. So I didn't put purposeful reflection in my diary to go, right, where are my goals? How close am I to achieving them? What do I need to do to move me forward? So that for me this year is on my goal list. On my goal list is block out reflection time each month. Now, you don't need to do each month. You could do 6 months, halfway through the year, quick check on your goals going forward. You could do every 4 months, so every third of the year. So where are we? January, February, March, April. So at the end of April, you could set a reminder in your phone to say, okay, just go back and check on my goals. How do I feel like I'm achieving them? And you know what? You might have achieved them all. And you might go, okay, now let's set some new goals then. This is the power of goal setting. Trust me, it works, okay? Is that you might achieve all your goals by April, and that will fill you with confidence to go, oh my God, I am capable of so much more. Because when we have a goal and we achieve a goal and we tick that goal off, that rush of endorphin, that feeling of achievement, that self pride that we feel, honestly, is amazing. It is the best feeling to look at them goals at the end of the year and go, yep, 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 yep. Okay. But it only comes with writing them down, setting them goals, writing them down, ticking them off, reflecting on them. Are we moving forward? You might set a goal and touch base on yourself in 6 months' time and go, do you know what? What I thought was really important to me at the beginning of the year, that goal's not that important anymore. And that's okay. So when we set goals, they are absolutely 100% tangible. Not because they're hard, but if it doesn't sit with you anymore, your life might take a completely different direction this year, and that's okay. But I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to setting goals, especially this time of year, it can give us purpose. January is a time that we're coming off the back of Christmas, New Year, out of routine. Our life has tend to be filled with loved ones and happy things and social occasions. January can be a bit flat, and we can feel a little bit like, well, what's my purpose now? Whereas setting goals can really help give us purpose, give us focus, and get through January a little bit more positive. So, little recap, guys, and then I'm going to sign off. So, 5 steps to setting and achieving your goals in 2024. Number 1 is set that 5-minute timer and free flow everything you want to achieve this year. Big, small, whatever, let it go. Let it go. Number 2 is start to reverse engineer that goal. Okay? Work out, do you have the time? Do you have the capacity? Do you have the resources to do it? It might be that goal that you set might be a 2-year goal. But also, if we don't reverse engineer it, we can't do step 3, which is, what do I need to achieve this goal? Do I need to invest in a coach? Do I need to look for help? Do I need to sign up for a course? Okay. What do you need to achieve that goal? Go find it. Number 4, write them down, print them off, written down in a frame on the fridge. Get them in your eye line every single day. This is why I'm not a big fan of having them on your phone, because you have to consciously go and look at them on your phone, whereas subconsciously, if they're in your eye line every day, you're going to take that shit in. Number 5 is reflect. Okay. And again, this is a mistake that I made, and I don't want you to make it, is put time in your phone. When you're setting your goals, just go, right, 6 months from now, I'm going to reflect on how I'm getting on with my goals and what do I need to change to do it. Okay. It can be every month, every 2 months, 3, 4 months, whatever works for you. Okay. But put time in to reflect and give yourself the chance that if you've slipped on things, you can call yourself out and you can go, actually, that goal in January is really important to me. And I know life's got in the way and life's got busy, but I want to achieve that by the end of the year. If we don't make the time to reflect on that, we're going to get to December or January next year and be like, I really wanted to achieve that goal. Okay. So reflection is the time to call ourselves out and get things in motion again. And they are my top 5 tips to setting your goals for this year. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you some food for thought for January, which can be pretty crap, but it also can be a great time to be motivated. And I think I just want to sign off by saying, have a little bit of self-compassion in January. It's a hard month for a lot of us. We can feel overwhelmed, we can feel sad, but I've got another great podcast that is going to come and help you out next week. How to beat the January blues. Okay, but for now, use this week. Go set your goals and your intentions for 2024. And as always, if you want to drop me a message, let me know how you're getting on, or if this was helpful, please do so on Instagram @_em.powered. I'd love to hear off you. And if you really enjoyed this episode, please share it on your socials or just go to the ratings on Apple or Spotify and give me a 5-star rating. I would really appreciate it. Right. Happy 2024. Go boss it. And I will see you next time. Bye.